You were.
Well, yeah, we were very much a cult band,
Yeah.
and but we were picked up and signed by Combat before any of the PMRC hearings even
Yeah.
happened. So there was an interest on because they were a major independent at that time, and it was important record distributors. It was their in-house label,
Yeah.
and they were a massive distributor, and so we had the good fortune of just being distributed everywhere,
Yeah.
and that was very key to us being more of becoming a national band, because we were in every outlet, and there were millions of kids like you growing up in the suburbs,
Yeah.
going to the record stores and just trying to find whatever new metal was coming out,
Yeah.
And I was the same way when I was younger too. I was always trying to find new bands and different things to listen to that, and you could only go by what the cover looked like, sometimes, and flip it over and say, okay, that dude's hair's pretty long and his guitar strap is made of a chain, so I bet I'll like it, And so that being said, I think that we were spread out and out there enough that Tipper Gore probably sent some crack team of investigators out to find all the most vile stuff they could so she could pad her program, with evidence. And I think we probably, because we were picked up on that, but then again, we were picked up as a prop in the Trick or Treat movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that, but they used Rise of the Mutants in that movie. I think it was a good cover that just caught people's eyes,
Yeah.
and that was our total intention.
How old are you in this picture?
Yeah, 21.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we got signed after 12 gigs. We played 12 local gigs,
Yeah.
sent the demo tape, because we were sending the demo tapes to independent labels too,
Yeah.
and even major labels. Like we probably sent one to Capitol Records, but so there was. Did you used to go to Northern Lights when you?
Yeah, that's where I think I got that copy, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great store. Well, there were
Yeah.
3 of them or 4 of them at the time,
Yeah.
back in the day. But I used to hang out at the one on University Avenue,
Yep.
and there was a place called Twin City Import in there.
Mhm.
And a guy named Richard, who ran Twin City Import, he liked us and liked what we were doing, and so he actually told us, like put a press kit and stuff. Kind of told us how to do a proper package to send to a label, because we'd had gotten some press in City Pages, wrote a big article about us at the time, and just different fanzines that had written about us, and so we put together this thing, and he actually mailed them out to a few places, and I think Combat was one of them, because he dealt directly with these people because he was an importer,
Yeah.
and so he was dealing with all these distributors. But so they liked the demo tape when they heard it, and then we just started talking in a positive way about them being interested in signing us and stuff. And what we wanted to do with our first album was have the cover that would represent us as our live show, and this is like the finale of our live show, is tearing the guts out of somebody. And so it was just kind of let's do that,
Mm-hmm.
make a Night of the Living Dead cover, and so I made a mock cover. And
Like drew it?
No, we took the pictures and blew it up with an old Xerox machine, and like cut it out, and I took a piece of cardboard and I like kind of laid it out somewhat like this. We had a cruder logo back then,
Yeah.
and I had no layout skills or anything, but I mean, I just kind of patched something together, and we sent that along with our newest demo.
Oh.
And when they received it, they just like called me up and said, we're going to put it out.
Whoa.
So, and then of course they went to a professional place and had the whole thing cleaned up. But this was our basic idea. I wish they still had the thing out there. We never got it back, but I almost wish I had it sometimes. But
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty much all planned out in our minds how we wanted to be, perceived by people. And,
Yeah.
and how we wanted to come off looking
Yeah.
very much,
So what's the inspiration? I mean, is there something behind what made you think of like eating a dead body on stage? Is there a old movie or
Yeah.
something that? Yeah.
Actually, it was Night of the Living Dead. I was watching Night of the Living Dead at a midnight movie, And there's a scene where the two teenagers go out in the truck and try and gas it up, and it ends up blowing up. And then the zombies come out and start eating them, and they're pulling out entrails and stuff, and chowing on them. And I was like, God, how could we do that on stage? You know,
Yeah.
it was real, yeah, just like a lightning bolt hit me sitting in that theater. You know, I was like, yeah. Well, you know, at first, our first early shows at the upper deck, we actually had a dummy that we made, and one of our friends, his dad was a cop, and we actually had an old cop uniform on a dummy, and that's actually some of the first killings were with a dummy, and then we just metamorphosized into real people from there after we did it a few times with the dummy, threw that away and just started using, and then we'd kill like Boy George or, you know, we killed PMRC people. We'd have people dressed up, you know, with glasses and conservative and have picket signs and come through the crowd.
Yeah.
And then that came full circle because then after the PMRC thing, these evangelists called the Peters Brothers that are out in Lake Elmo or somewhere like that, they got on our chain and they like started. My brother was in high school at the time, and they came to his school. He went to a Lutheran school, Central Lutheran out in Roseville. They came to his school with a slideshow presentation about the truth about rock. They had this whole thing going on where they were slamming rock lyrics and rock lifestyles, and they were showing the slideshow, and Rise of the Mutants comes up on their slideshow. My brother's like, wait a minute, that's my brother.
Yeah.
And they thought we were from LA or something. They didn't know that we were in the cities, you know, and so we ended up debating with them on Twin Cities Live and on
Oh, cool.
yeah, on KFAI and the U of M radio, a couple different places like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they even came and picketed one of our shows for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought people and read the Bible, and they had signs, and I actually have some pictures somewhere of them with us downstairs in the dressing room.
Did you kind of feel at that point like you were successful because of that? Because of the, I mean, what are you going for when you're in a band, and what?
Yeah, I really thought everything was working according to plan. You know, it was like, you know, I never felt any threat. I didn't feel threatened at all about the PMRC. And as young as I was then and how unpolitical I was at that time, I really felt that was like political posturing on somebody's part. And it turned out to be that way because, you know, 6-7 years later, there's Al Gore on MTV trying to get the vote from the young people, you know, and I really thought that was kind of hypocritical, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it all really worked just according to plan. I laughed. We sold like, they had to repress this 5 times. That's purely entertainment, you know. It's like Halloween and a horror movie, and you know, I don't know. Back in the day, if people expected Boris Karloff to shuffle around and have bolts in his neck when he was with his family or
Right.
in life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.